So we must do two things, two great things together, to encompass that enormous new view that lies before us, but to encompass it within the framework of science, to see it within the whole categorical framework of science, and to see that these two are not separate, but that they are wedded. The bigness of the idea, the newness of the idea, the greatness of it is one with the structure of science, the structure of being itself. The fifth subject of life, let's recap and see that through the divine principle of the fourth subject, what was given to us in the fourth subject, the teaching of science, the fundamentals of science, the fundamental teaching of the principle was set forth. What was given to us in the fourth was the 7 and the 4. That's just a big recap, isn't it, of that fourth tone. Let's not get lost in the illustrations of the Word, the illustration of the Christ order, the illustration of those 4 orders through the 7. But let's see the great point, the big point, that life was impelling as principle upon us, the teaching of that principle, the setting forth of that principle in its science, in its fundamentals. And so we were given there the 7 and the 4. And in that presentation, everything was leading us back to, or to the fulfilled state, really to the attractor in the field, the retrocausation in the field, which, if you recall, was the order of science, and that order of science led us to the final point of one omni-active principle. Do you remember that? Does that make sense? And so, having set forth the whole teaching, Jesus can be sent forth, he's sent forth by life then to express that teaching, to demonstrate that teaching, to demonstrate that science and its fundamentals. And so life comes in, and we see that life is the demonstration of that principle as the fullness of life, the fullness of being. Thus we get the variety of life, the teeming sense of life with its infinite individuality, all those individual instances of healing, you see. First from the standpoint of life in life, truth, and love, with the accent on the practitioner, on the impulsion within the practitioner to act in accord with his scientific principle and to heal. And so you get all those instances of, wilt thou heal me? And it's, I will, I will. Terrific life sense in the practitioner that I will heal you. I can heal you, and I will. And then from the second standpoint of truth, the standpoint of the patient, where the accent is on the self-conscious affirmation in the patient, you hear life and truth, and these two together bring out a teemingly abundant variety of examples. These examples were only a few, just a handful, that are typical, that would be typical of the abundant variety of healings that are possible and from which we can draw based on those two great aspects or stages of life, that is, life as mind, life impelling life as mind, and truth impelling life as spirit. There is that movement from life as mind to life as spirit, there must be. There must be. In the whole process of love now, love which is the attractor in the field of life and really wants to bring us into the fulfilled fullness of life, life fulfilled in every way. So love says, you shouldn't remain in life, in the life as life tone. You know what I mean, life impelling life. Don't remain there. You can't remain there because I'm showing you that there is an attraction towards something much, much more. How do you begin to see that attractor? You see it through truth, because truth begins to show you that you have the healing consciousness within you. You have that consciousness. But I, love, want to show you something even more than that. I want to show you the fullness of life, the superabundance of life as love. This includes much, much more. It's what we will now see. But we see that those first two subtones have given us a terrific sense of the abundance of healing, illustrating the exaltation of life above the mortal concept, illustrating the regeneration of life, the revival of life, the renewal of life, the resurrection, you see, the resuscitation, mortal existence being changed, all of this going on by the attractive force behind the whole picture, and that is love. And so at the conclusion of that truth tone, life, truth, love, we see that Jesus says, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. The laborers are few. The laborers are those that are illustrated in the truth tone, right? Those who are working consciously within themselves. These are the laborers, huh? He says, these are few. So the affirmation of the Christ man within the individual consciousness, this is not so often seen. And he says, pray to your Father about it. What do we do about it? Pray to your Father about it. Pray that the Lord of the harvest will send more laborers, you see. What is needed is that Christ consciousness, that consciousness that is working. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all of thy work. And with that bidding, the Word as the Christ comes to a conclusion.